to the new year wanting to just be healthier, be happier, and when you go from 0 to 100, it can be really hard to, maintain those habits.
Transmission received. Authorization granted. Welcome to the video.
What's up, dreamers, and happy new year. I hope you're having a great start to the new year, or had a great start to the new year, depending on where you are in the world, and you are awesome. Welcome to Driving and Vibing, New Year's edition. We have the ladies with us here once again. One of them is sleeping. That's why the volume has been turned down on my voice. But you should still be able to hear me, hopefully. And today, what is the vibe? Welcome to Driving and Vibing. What's the vibe today? It's a new year, so we want to talk about building healthy habits and staying positive throughout the process. Having a good mindset throughout, trying not to get burnt out, and just tips and tricks to build some nice, long-lasting, healthy habits. So, the first tip I'm going to start with a tip right out of the gate. I think it's very important. I'm going to say this over and over and over again. Is you got to start slow. You got to take baby steps. I can't stress enough how important taking baby steps is. If you want to, some people come into the new year, especially the new year, and kind of get into the mindset where they want to start a wellness journey. That's fantastic, right? But they try to jump into everything at once. Nutrition, exercise, maybe working on their sleep, and they try to do all of this at once. And it becomes overwhelming because there's so much information, there's so much to do, there's so much to learn. And, the habits don't really last because there's just, too much going on. So taking baby steps towards these healthy habits is very, very important. Pick out one thing that you want to work on the most, like improving your sleep. That's probably a pretty good one. I would recommend personally doing that one first, because good sleep will drive less hunger, right? As well as tons of other benefits. And work on your sleep. Set yourself a bedtime every single night, same time every night. Kind of set yourself a routine if you want to. Read a book before, start dimming the lights at a certain time. Just kind of get into a little bit of a routine in that habit, and then work on that habit for a couple weeks at a time, 2, 3, 4 weeks. And once you really get that habit down, then add in another one. Then maybe you can work on adding in some exercise, some walks, some resistance training, and then do that for another couple weeks on top of the sleeping, since you've already built the habit. And build from there. You always have to build from a foundation. I say that it's kind of like building a house, where you can't build the whole house at the same time. You have to start from the foundation. So start with a foundation and build the levels of your wellness house one at a time. And over to you.
Okay. Yeah, I think the tip of just taking it slow, I think that everybody goes in, or not everybody, but most people go in to the new year wanting to just be healthier, be happier, and when you go from 0 to 100, it can be really hard to, maintain those habits. So we read a book, it's called Atomic Habit. If you haven't read it, it's a really good book recommendation. It's all about building habits. I think it takes 30 days to build a
Actually,
habit?
I'm going to that's a good average, but I'm going to put in a little tidbit of information. And this is something, sorry to cut you off, but I have to say that building habits, there's studies that just came out that said they can, depending on the person, depending on the habit, some habits can be built within 14 days, some can take up to 200. Now that sounds like a lot of days, but that is all individual, and it depends on the habit. But 30 days does sound like is kind of like, for me personally, and for a lot of other people, 30 days is kind of where you can concrete a habit, right? So that it kind of actually becomes a habit. You don't even have to think about it. You kind of just go and do it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. And so, with that, building something that starts small, but then what building a habit allows you to do is, and I talked about this on our last video about like traveling tips for the holidays, is once you've built a habit, it actually allows you to give yourself grace if you miss a day, if you don't eat a salad and you eat a fast food burger or something like that. By creating these good habits, it actually allows you to change your entire lifestyle. It's not a fad, it's not a quick diet, it's not a program that's going to start and stop. It's just changes that happen throughout your life that you'll continue throughout your life. And when you have these habits, if you miss a day or if you go off course, it allows you to get back on track much faster than if you don't take the time to originally create the habit.
I love that point. That goes hand in hand with the positivity, where if you have those habits in place and you do miss a couple of days, and I go through waves, in one of the past videos we talked about a quote unquote poopy pants attitude. I have some of those times too where I get into that mindset where I fall out of a habit and I'm kind of unwilling at that specific time to change. But overall, of course that happens, right? But overall, I have a positive outlook on things, and the fact that if I do miss some things, I know that because the habits, I've been building these habits and I worked slow at them to build them over a course of time, I know that they are kind of concrete. So if I miss a day or two, I know this is where the positivity comes into play. I'm positive in thinking about it, and I hold a positive mindset in the fact that when I get back into my comfort zone, basically, or my own environment, the habit is going to live on, and I'm going to continue my health and wellness journey, not because I feel I need to, but because I want to. That's why I built the habits to begin with.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think that that's something that I've always personally struggled with, is that I have always been too hard on myself, that if I miss a day, or if I maybe we're really on a eating healthy, not eating processed foods, and I want something greasy or processed, then I feel like that has derailed all of my progress, but it really doesn't. And that's something that I've had to just mentally work through over the years of continuing to build habits. And I think just building those, having a partner that help you, and if you don't have a partner, finding somebody that has common interests and goals can really help you maintain these habits.
I completely agree. The keeping a positive mindset throughout the whole thing will help you to I was gonna pivot off exactly what you just said, but I forget what you said already. I was focused on something else. But keeping a good mindset overall will help with the positivity and just the like you said about taking like you said about generally eating healthy, and then sometimes you're going to eat fast food or some kind of greasy food that you don't normally eat. Keeping a good mindset, and it's all about kind of how you think about things. Like, a lot of people call them quote unquote cheat meals, but I feel like there's a negative connotation towards that, or with that, where if you just realize you're eating in moderation, eating at one time here and there, or not one time, just here and there, and the fact that it's not going to negatively impact your overall health and wellness journey, is a very powerful way to look at the journey as a whole, as opposed to calling them cheat days, right? It's just kind of the outlook and the perspective. You can change your perspective on things to kind of make the journey easier as well, I think. And she was awake 2 seconds ago. Right there, I think we're gonna call it a happy new year. And if you have any tips of your own for building habits, or keeping positivity throughout. Let us know in the comments. We would love to hear them. If you liked what you saw, hit that like button. Greatly helps out the channel. Subscribe. And yeah, everybody have a fantastic, safe, happy New Year. Alice would wave, but I think she's actually sleeping. And yeah, hope to see everybody in the next video. Later, dreamers.